What is up, guys? This is Zix here from Magna Crypto and welcome back to another video. So today's video, I was thinking about the economy, as I always do, and about what could potentially get us out of this. And obviously, since I invest and trade in crypto, I'm thinking about cryptocurrencies. And the question that came to my mind is, can crypto save the economy? Now, the short answer is not really. Well, not right now anyway, because the way I look at the economy right now is, imagine a person that's got organ failure, it's got several injuries, it's got beat up, it's bleeding, and the doctor gives him, some strong drugs to relieve him of his pain, and some plasters to cover a bit of blood. That's the state of the economy right now. It's been absolutely manipulated in, all kinds of ways, which we'll talk a little bit about in a second. It's beyond repair, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's in such a state, again, going back to the kind of visual image of the person on its last legs, that is literally how the economy is right now. There's no growth. It's been inflated by fake money. The big earners are all aging, and the kind of the habits, the debt that's currently absolutely saturating the economy, or actually it's constantly increasing, so it's not really saturated it. But yeah, that's the state of the economy, and that just can't be repaired, it can't be saved. No matter what you do, it's in my opinion beyond repair. It can only be, again, like the medicine, it can be, you can relieve the symptoms for a short while, but it can never be repaired. And that's kind of in the future where crypto, I believe, can come in, because it's decentralized money. Or actually, let me play this video firstly, because it kind of touches upon how crypto can save the economy, or the future economy anyway. So let me just play this quickly, and I'll talk after that.
Well, let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit. It's continued to gain traction as a currency. How do you evaluate Bitcoin as a store of wealth?
So far, I don't evaluate Bitcoin as a store of wealth, but I love the fact that the free markets are trying alternatives to government-mandated and manipulated currency systems. This is a wonderful thing. The world would be a far more prosperous place, a far more stable place, a place where you could predict what was going to happen in the future and have a greater chance, the probability of being right, if we had free market money. Bitcoin is an attempt at that, and I fully support any attempt at getting away from a small group of people trying to decide what the world economy is going to be, because the free market has all of the information. It's got the information of every transaction in society. When a small group of people like the FOMC committee at the Federal Reserve think that that they know better than the free market and they can decide where we're going to go and set interest rates, it warps and distorts the economy, and there's a price to be paid.
And that's kind of the key part, the economy that we've been living in so far. Again, as I said, it's been manipulated and distorted by the powers that be, the governments, the central banks, the Federal Reserve. They've been manipulating this by artificially changing the interest rates, printing money, whatever means, monetary policy, fiscal policy they've decided to use, increased tax, whatever it is, it's all artificially manipulated by them. Whereas with cryptocurrencies, things like Bitcoin, this is, as you said, free market money. It's not being controlled by anyone. No one's deciding to increase the supply of Bitcoin. It just can't be done. Once it's been fixed into the code, that's it. And this is good because it means it's kind of predictable how, the flow of money in a way. It can't be manipulated. So it allows the market to kind of go through its natural cycles of ups and downs and what have you. Right now, we're just living in that distorted, fake world, and it allows companies, that are not growing, that are not offering growth to the economy, that are just being inflated by fake money to carry on doing that. Because the economy, the Federal Reserve, the central banks have artificially dropped the interest rates, it's allowed those companies, especially the stock market, to borrow money for literally no interest rate. It's almost free money. It's literally free money for them. They borrow the money, and this is what I'm talking about in a second. It's called repurchase. They borrow money, they buy back their stocks, and increase the value of their company through that. And they essentially get rich doing this. But at the end of the day, when the pieces start to crumble, it's the consumer, the average person that has to bail them out with tax payers' money. And I'm sure that rings a bell. In the 2008 crisis, the huge bailouts was paid by the people, where the greedy kind of bankers and investors were able to profit from this. So they got rich, and then when it all went to shits, they got bailed out by the people who have no say in the matter. But just a bit more information on that. As you can see from the Business Insider, the bull market has been largely supported. So the last 10 years or so has been largely supported by companies buying back their own shares during periods devoid of other positive catalysts, such as the S&P 500 earnings contraction. So repurchases have been the market's ace in the hole. And again, this is done through fake money. And when a company repurchases its own stock, it boosts the share price and earnings per share number by reducing the total number of shares outstanding. And this is how they've been kind of artificially growing the economy. That's why the stock market has been increasing so much in the last 10 years, even though there hasn't been growth to kind of fuel that. So it's all fake money. Again, kind of continue on the buybacks or the repurchasing of stocks. Airlines is also a sector that's been doing this for the last however many years. As you can see, they spent $42.5 billion on buybacks. And now, during this coronavirus crisis, they're asking for $50 billion to save them, So if they didn't actually use that money to buy back their stocks, they could have actually had money, or they would have been all right at the moment. But, so they've been getting rich, and now they're asking for bailout to save them. So again, taxpayers' money it's going towards this, which is really not fair. Now, kind of the solution or potential solution, kind of going back to crypto, is one of these technologies that have been produced during the emerging of this new market is Ripple's XRP, or Ripple's suite of software, which includes XRP, which is allowing them to kind of send or transfer value anywhere in the world in a matter of minutes, whereas at the moment it still takes about 3 to 5 days. And the technology that they're using is literally live right now. Certain companies like MoneyGram, have corridors open to like Mexico, where they're literally sending millions in the matter of minutes, which is, imagine the kind of positive effect this will have on the remittance market, which is already like in the hundreds of billions. It's going to allow migrant workers to send money back to their families, which they're not able to do at the moment. I'm going to play a short clip just explaining what their technology does, but imagine the positive effect this will have on the economy. You could literally send a small amount of money back to your family, from UK to Asia, for example, not only supporting them in whatever essentials they need, but let's say they had like a business idea, you could send them a little bit of money and help them kind of start that. So this is actually helping to fuel growth in the economy, as opposed to like what the stock buybacks do, which is just inflate the economy. So let me just play you a clip of their ad. Just explains very easily what Ripple is doing. You know, so they're able to send money instantly. Obviously, like they're showing how quick it is to kind of send money across any distance.
I've got it.
But this will also help something like the logistics kind of sectors. So, you know, the logistics to send money for deliveries or trucks or whatever, things like this.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
Again, you know, they're just kind of showing you how fast it is to send money anywhere. This is really going to imagine how much benefits the economy, the global economy will get from being able to send money as quick as an email. You know, it's going to connect the world in ways that could not be, you know, imagined. Think about how much of an impact the internet has had on the world. You know, how much, you know, being able to communicate with anyone in the world. But now you'll be able to send value anywhere in the world for like fractions of the current cost. So that's kind of what Ripple are doing and how that will affect the economy going forward. What I call, quote unquote, the new economy going forward, the new system. But also we have, you know, cryptocurrencies is solving a problem that has to do with the unbanked economy in the world. And I'll kind of show you a little bit. So currently there are more than 2 billion unbanked people worldwide. So this means that, you know, they don't have access to any financial services. They just have to keep the money under the mattress, literally. You know, which to us, maybe it doesn't really affect us in the Western world. You know, we've got our banks, so what? But to them, you know, not being able to put their money in the bank where it's kept safe and not being able to earn interest on their money, not that interest rates are that high. But also they don't have access to financial services. And again, if they did, you know, that's 2 billion people that could contribute. Not only it would help their lives, but it could help the economy because they would be able to contribute to the economy, you know, in various ways. And the way, you know, cryptocurrencies is helping this is like they've got crypto services like M-Pesa and BitPesa. You know, they're already kind of starting on that journey of banking the unbanked, and they're using telephone services like mobile phone apps because those 2 billion people, although they don't have any bank accounts, they've got mobile phones. So, you know, they're able to get to them through their phones. And with cryptocurrencies, the blockchain technologies, they're able to kind of offer these services, which is fantastic, and it's really going to help the global economy, you know, to get them onto the system so that they can get access to financial services, you know, kind of result in innovation, new ideas from different parts of the world, you know, coming into the system. Entrepreneurship is going to go to another level. And all these economies, like as they said in this article, it's mostly kind of African countries or some Asian countries. So their economies are really going to expand when they all have access to kind of financial services. So the overall result is global growth, which is what we need, not stagnant economies, which is the system we're living in right now. Last but not least, we have Tezos. Tezos is an enterprise-grade blockchain platform, and they're at the moment kind of being known for securitizing or tokenizing securities. So all these big commercial buildings around the world, or securities, financial securities that are currently illiquid, like, you know, you're not able to sell them quickly, will be tokenized. And so, you know, all these buildings, I would say mostly, you know, a lot of real estate, a lot of artwork will be put onto blockchain. So they will now become liquid once they've been digitized or tokenized, sorry, which again will contribute to kind of, probably not as much as kind of banking the unbanked or XRP, Ripple's XRP, but it will allow kind of more things to be invested in, because once they're kind of tokenized, it will kind of reduce the price per token, so anyone will be able to access these investments. So the demand for these things will go up, as there's, more people will be able to afford them. But also from an ownership point of view, whoever owns these assets will be able to kind of get access to cash quickly, because they're able to sell smaller shares. So that's a win-win from both sides: more investment opportunity for the people and more liquidity opportunity for the owners. So yes, that's a big win-win, and that will help kind of save the economy. That'll be all for today. A couple of reasons why cryptocurrencies can save the economy. I hope you got value from that and you enjoyed that. I would just like to end with kind of the current situation with the coronavirus. Stay safe. Always practice social distancing. I think, in my opinion, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So just, be on your guard. Don't be greedy, be compassionate towards one another. Be responsible. Don't leave the house because you could be putting other people in danger. You don't know if you've got the virus or not. But don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, and all that jazz. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, take care. Peace.